1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, this is Sean. Welcome to GuitarReferenceGuide.com. Today's lesson I'm going to be taking you through the Charlie Parker classic Billies Bounce. This is a jazz blues in F. There's a PDF below. I've tabbed out the head and the first 12 bars of his solo. In addition to this lesson going through that, I'm also going to take you through some concepts for soloing over a jazz blues in F. We're going to talk about Mixolydian scales, chord tones, Lydian flat 7 scales, and a lot of the different things that you can do to imply the chords when you're soloing. I've also included a jam track, the link below that'll take you to my site. There'll be a jam track there. In any case, if you like what you see in this video, please subscribe. If you want to get notifications, click on the little bell icon. It's going to be a really fun lesson. So if you're tired of just playing through, standard blues licks in your standing blues way and you want to start to get into jazz, this is a great video because one of the most common keys for playing jazz blues is F. There's a lot of different heads that are in this key. Billies Bounce is in this key. Straight no chasers in this key. O Privav is in this key. So learning this chord progression, learning how to play through it is going to serve you very, very well. If you don't know how to play through a jazz blues, I just posted a video on how to play the basic chord progression through this tune. Very, very simple video with a free PDF. In addition to having the PDF for the head and the first 12 bars, I'm also going to have a bundle that's going to have all the scales and all the arpeggios in every position all the way up and down the neck. That'll be in a PDF bundle. Thanks so much for your support, and hope you enjoy my lesson on how to play through Billies Bounce by the late, great Charlie Parker. Let's do it. Okay, now I'm going to take you through the head a couple bars at a time, really slow. It has a pickup, is on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I start with the C note on the and. 1, 2, 3, 4. B, C. We move up to the F note on the 3rd fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, back to the 3rd fret of the D, 5th fret, or the D, back to the F note on the 3rd fret. Now we're going to do this phrase again. 3rd fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret. Then we're going to do that again. And that's going to bring us into the last bar of F7. So the first 3 bars. Now over the last bar of F7, we're going to go, or just, sometimes I just play that note once instead of twice. Either way will work fine. So the last measure is 6th fret, 7th fret, 3rd fret hammer pull off to 5. And that's a triplet. So and that would take us through the first 4 bars. Okay, so bar 5, we come in on the end of 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2nd fret, 3rd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the D, 6th fret on the D, back to the 3rd fret on the G. I like to slide into it. And that'll be over the B flat 7. The next phrase would be, we're going 4th fret on the B, 5th fret on the G, 6th fret, 4th fret, back to the 6th fret and to the 5th fret. So if we play up to there, we have take us up to the F7. Let me see here. No, yeah, up to the just preceding the A minor 7 to D7. So one more time. And on those chords. But da 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 da. Okay, so now the A minor to 7 to D7. One more time. Sorry. So here I'm playing 5th fret, skipping a string, going to the 5th fret on the D. So from the B to the D. 2nd fret on the D, 4th fret on the D. 4th fret on the B. So we're skipping the G string. A little bit tricky there. Chromatic line into the D note. Chromatic. Now we're on the G minor 7. And this phrase is going to be like this. So here we're hammering and pulling off, playing the 3rd fret on the high E, hammering, pull off. Now we're playing through a G minor 7 arpeggio, and then ending on the 7. And then over the C7, and then back one more time through the C7. And that's going over a Mixolydian scale. Now we're back to that phrase that we heard over the first 4 bars. That's kind of like a rhythmic trademark of this tune. So now I'm going to play through the whole head really, really slow. And that would be the head for Billies Bounce. So you just want to practice it really slow, get it up to speed, and then you'll have a head that you can play over a blues, an F. It's a great head. Okay, now I'm going to take you through the first 12 bars of his solo. Phrase number 1. really slow. I'm starting from the F note. Then I'm playing from F to G sharp. So this is going to be 6, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a chromatic line. This is all coming out of a F mixolydian scale. So we have a chromatic note there, and he's also playing the minor third, adding the minor third in the chromatic line. And that's our first phrase. So we have 6, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to have a hammer pull off. Hammer pull off from the B flat to the C, and then we're going to slide. So here we're playing the 6th fret and the 8th fret, hammer pull off and slide to 5. One more time, really slow. Hammer pull off, slide to 5, 6, 7, 5 on the C note. So far we have over the F. And then the last phrase, or the last lick that goes over this phrase, we're going to go back up to the 8th fret, and we're going to hammer onto the A note and pull off. And we're going to slide back to the F. Then we're going to play the E flat back to the F. So far we have. Okay, the next phrase, we're going to slide up to the third. I'm just going to play it and then we'll break it down. Okay, really slow. Phrase number 1. Sliding up to the F note, 13th fret. 13th fret on the B, 11th fret, 9th fret on the B, 10th fret on the G, and then we're ending up on the G note, which is going to be the 8th fret of the B string. One more time. Now we're going to do a mixolydian scale. So now we're playing through the F mixolydian. That was over the B flat. Da, 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 da. So this lick is over the B flat. And then now we're on the F, so we're playing. So here we're playing the F note, the minor third. So F, playing the 8th fret to the 11th fret, chromatic line, moving up to the A note, which is on the 7th fret, and then a straight chromatic line, which is kind of coming out of the mixolydian scale, but adding flat 5 and then to the 5. So if we play up to there, we have this so far. Couple more notes and we're done. Right after that chromatic line, we're going to the 7th fret of the G string. So then we're going, basically going 7th fret, 10th fret, 7th fret, and back. 10, 7, 10, 9th fret, and then ending on the D. So that would sound like this. Genius of Charlie Parker. And that would be the second to last lick. Now we have one more lick, or one more phrase, and we'll be done. I'll play through it. I'll play through the whole thing one more time. Okay. Now the last phrase and then I'll break it down. Or, okay, we start with a rake. So here I'm playing G minor arpeggio, and I'm raking and ending on the F note, which is at the 13th fret of the high E string, starting on the G string, 12, 11, 10, 13. And then we do a chromatic line. Thirteen, 12, 10, 9, 8. Chromatic line there to the C note. Now we're going to move to the 6th fret, and you've seen this lick already once over the first lick. So this is going to be a hammer pull off up to the 6th fret of the B, 7th fret of the G, back to the C. Now we're going 8, 6, 8, and then ending on the 5th fret of the high E string. So through that whole thing again, really slow. So now I'm going to play through the entire solo really slow. And that would be the Charlie Parker solo through the first 12 bars of Billies Bounce. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about soloing strategies. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see me. I'll turn this up this way. We can discuss this a little bit. Here we go. I got some headphones on here. All right. So now when you're playing over a blues, a jazz blues in F, you can play all the same blues licks that you're used to playing, and it's going to work, especially if you target the root notes of the chords as they're going by. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go a little deeper than that. We're going to think of each of the chords as being its own thing, and we're going to tackle them one at a time. So the first chord is F7. So what I'm going to want you to do is start learning your F7 chord tones, arpeggios, for each of the chords that go through. So we have an F7. Next chord's going to be B flat. And on the PDF, I'm going to have this in every position. Try and keep the chords and everything you're doing somewhat close together. That way you don't have to travel too much. So we're going to start with chord tones. You know, over an F7, you have a 1, a 3, a 5, a flat 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, and 1. Over the B flat, it's going to be basically the same thing, but starting on the low E string. Back to the F. Now we have the 2-5 progression to bring us back to the B flat. So here, if I played a C minor arpeggio, then an F7 Mixolydian scale. Let's do all arpeggios. So that's my going into the F, but I'm not playing the whole thing. I'm just playing 5, 3, 1. So here, C minor to F7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 5, 3, and 1. Now a really good way to tackle this is to pre-compose a bunch of ideas that you work out. This is a good thing to get started. Obviously you want to get so versed with this that you can do it on the fly, but in the beginning lots of times it's really good to work out some ideas before you try and improvise over it. So you're kind of pre-composing some ideas that'll work because this stuff's going really fast. Now we're on the B flat arpeggio. Then we can go to the B diminished. That's just all minor thirds. Just play minor third, 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 minor third. All works in minor thirds. You can move in minor thirds too. That's a general rule for the diminished. Now we're going to go back to the F. That was a F Mixolydian scale. Now we're going to go 2-5 in G. So we have A minor 7 to D7. So here I could play a Dorian mode for A, which would be in the key of G, starting and ending on the A. And that would also work because then you're dovetailing right into the D7. Now if we did the chord tones, there I'm doing 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7 to the 1. Now I come back starting on the arpeggio here. That would be, let me see here. That would be from here. And that would work great over that. Now, we have twice as long here. So the 2-5 here happens in the space of one measure. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That happens really quick. Or no, now I come to the G minor to the C7. Let me do that one. Let me do this one more time. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Now I'm coming to the 1 of the D, flat 7, 5, 3, 1. You can even do the same thing over this if you time it the right way. So now I have 2-5 over an F, so it's G minor 7, C7. I can do Mixolydian scale here, or Dorian, G Dorian, which is an F major starting and ending on G, C Mixolydian, or the chord tones. And that was essentially the same phrase I did over the last one. This is just to give you an example of some ideas that you can use. Now we have a real fast round. 1, 6, 2, 5. Now a great thing to do here is to create a line and make sure you end up on the 5 note on the third beat of the last measure. So you can do a lot of different stuff here. Or you can follow the chords, which is a much taller order, going from F to D7, G minor to the C. Following that, you'd really have to take your time and work out some different ways of navigating through these chord tones. But it just takes pre-composing some of them and then trying to improvise on the fly. A good thing to do is to try and do it really slowly and just hit a couple notes at a time, like hitting the F, then to the D, to the G, to the C. And that's a good way to get started. That way you're not biting off more than you can chew. Just doing a couple notes on each. So, over the F7, we initially started playing all chord tones. So I recommend doing chord tones through all the different chords. So as the chords are moving, just doing straight chord tones through all of the chords, arpeggios, ascending, descending. Then I would go to Mixolydian scales. Chord tones, I think, are the most important thing. Then you go to Mixolydian scales. So F Mixolydian, B flat Mixolydian, A Dorian, D Dorian, G Dorian, F Mixolydian, and then you'd have F Mixolydian, D Mixolydian, G Dorian, C Mixolydian. And that's all moving by really quick. The last thing that we're going to talk a little bit about is the Lydian flat 7 scale. This is a really cool scale. It comes out of the harmonic minor scale, and it works really well. If I was to play over an F7 chord and I wanted to make it sound a little jazzier, I could play a Lydian scale, F Lydian, and I could flatten the 5, Lydian, the Lydian flat 7. So here we're playing the first part of a Lydian scale. On the second part of the Lydian scale, here's the 7, we flatten it. This is a great scale that comes out of the melodic minor scale. It's basically coming out of the C melodic minor scale. But think of it as being a Lydian scale with a flat 7. You do also do that over the B flat. So it has a little jazzier sound, sounds really, really cool. That also works really well. And then for the diminished, the only other thing we didn't really discuss here is when you get to the diminished, we talked about the minor thirds. You can look at that as being whole step, half step. That's the formula for the diminished scale. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, etc. And that also works really well. So I would slowly start incorporating these ideas using the Mixolydian scales, using the chord tones, using the Lydian flat 7 scale, and then of course using your pentatonics. Pentatonics always work really well. Just try and target the root notes when the chords are changing, and that'll work really, really well. Sometimes you might have to add a note here, a note there, but that also works really well. Also using your major pentatonic scales. That'll be another lesson. So thanks so much for visiting me at guitarreferenceguide.com, and I hope everyone has a great day. I hope this lesson, you enjoyed it, and I hope you got something out of it. Thanks so much.